guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So greatly appreciated. Truly is. Before we get started, let me give you my usual disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. Please do not take what I say as fact. Please always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Next, if you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. Shout out to my subscriber, Jason Brown, for recommending this story to me. Thank you for that. And if you guys have any recommendations, please send them my way because I need help with new stories. I do know that some of you have sent them to me and I do have them saved and printed out. Let's start. Punta Gorda, Florida is in Charlotte County. It is situated on the Gulf of Mexico and is mostly a rural county with many of the jobs in the area being agricultural. 25-year-old Gregory Malnory worked as a fuel man at the South Florida Sod Farm. The South Florida Sod Farm is a 7,000-acre business that is located in one of the most rural parts of the county. Gregory's job was to make sure that all the company's vehicles are gassed up at all times. Greg's co-worker/acquaintance was 38-year-old James Ford. James's job on the farm was a track hoe and heavy equipment operator. James was an outdoorsman and even had a campsite on the company's property where he would hunt wild boar and go fishing in the ponds and lakes that were in and around the property. April 5th, 1997, Greg Malnory got permission from the general manager for him and his wife, 27-year-old Kimberly, to go fishing on the company's property. At around 1:30 p.m., James Ford meets up with Greg, Kim, and the couple's 23-month-old daughter, Miranda, to spend the day fishing together. The following morning, April 6, 1997, when Greg fails to show up to work, his coworkers become very concerned. Greg had worked for the company for 2 years at this point, and he was known to be very reliable and a very dedicated part of the company. At around 10 o'clock in the morning, one of the farm managers noticed Greg's truck on a bike road near a pond a few hundred yards away from the company's office. So, a few of the employees decided to walk down to the truck and inspect what was going on, never ever imagining the terror that they were about to uncover. Buckle up, because it's not easy to hear this. Kim was found laying face down next to the truck with blood all around her. Greg was found a short distance from the truck in a field with blood all around him. And 23-month-old Miranda was found inside the truck, strapped into her seat with the doors wide open and blood on her and the truck. Miranda was alive, but she was extremely dehydrated and she had mosquito bites all over her very little body. Officers took Miranda from the truck and brought her to a nearby children's hospital. She would end up making a full recovery and later be adopted by Kim's mother, 67-year-old Linda Griffin. Authorities believe that the events of that day play out as follows. Greg was in the back of the head with a .22 caliber rifle. Ford then hit Kimberly at some point to disable her. While he was attacking Kimberly, he realized that Greg was still alive and stumbling over towards his truck. So it's at that point that Ford inflicts at least 7 blunt force injuries to the head and face of Greg with a blunt instrument that's believed to be an axe. He's found lying on his back in the middle of the field. His throat is slit from ear to ear so deeply that his underlying muscle tissue was exposed. The massive amount of blood that was found on Greg's chest and shirt lead experts to believe that he was in the head first, but that the bullet didn't kill him, it only disabled him. After Ford realized that Greg was still alive, he began the savage attack with the axe, beating him to death before slitting his throat. While this is going on, Kimberly's desperately trying to save her baby and herself. This was evident from the blood that's found on the car and on the baby, and DNA testing would confirm that it was Kimberly's blood that was on the baby. After Greg is dead, Ford continues the attack on Kimberly by striking her 9 times in the head with a blunt object, one of which fractured and penetrated her skull. Defensive wounds from this attack were found on the backs of Kimberly's arms, indicating that she fought very hard for her life and the life of her baby. There were 2 oval-shaped marks on the inside of Kimberly's thighs that were consistent with thumbprints. These marks were made while Kimberly was still alive. At the time of the attack, Kimberly was wearing a one-piece bathing suit with a shirt over it. Semen from Ford was found on Kimberly's shirt and inside of Kimberly's body. Ford sliced the crotch of the bathing suit open with a knife, and then he proceeded to R-word Kimberly. After he was done, he took the .22 caliber rifle that he nicknamed Old Betsy, put the barrel inside of Kimberly's mouth, and pulled the trigger. When Miranda was found, she had been strapped inside the car alone for at least 18 hours. While interviewing coworkers of Greg, police were informed about James Ford. They told officers that Ford had been with the couple yesterday afternoon and that they ran into him later on that day. He had blood all over his face, hands, and clothes. And he also had scratches all over his body. When coworkers questioned him about the blood, he told them that he had killed a hog and that's where the blood came from. A .22 caliber that belonged to Ford was found in a drainage ditch in the same area that Ford's truck had run out of gas that Sunday evening. During a search of Ford's home, a pocket knife that contained Greg's DNA was found in his bedroom. DNA from a stain in Ford's truck matched Kimberly. DNA from a stain on the seat of Ford's car matched Kimberly. DNA from semen found on the shirt Kim was wearing that day matched Ford, along with the semen that was found inside of her body. Just 2 years later, on November 5th, 1999, Kimberly's younger sister Jennifer died in a car crash at the age of 18 when a semi-truck pulled out in front of her. Kim and Jennifer's mother was left to raise both of her grandchildren. Kim's daughter Miranda, who was 23 months old at the time, and Jennifer's daughter Angelina, who was 3 months old at the time of her mother's death. Linda raised both girls until May 6, 2016, when she was killed in an automobile accident, just like her daughter. James Ford was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, armed sexual battery, and child abuse. For the 2 counts of first-degree murder, Ford was sentenced to death. For the charge of sexual battery, he was sentenced to 19 years, 9 months, and 15 days. And for the charge of child abuse, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. All right, guys, if you're still here, thank you. I love you, and I appreciate you so very much. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't yet and you feel so inclined to do so. And until next time, stay safe out there.